Hey everybody, in this video I'm going to walk through the first part of Chapter 6 of Black Myth before you get to the final part of the game. This area can be a little bit confusing trying to figure out where you need to go and what you need to do, so I'll touch on all the aspects of that. There are also quite a few mini-bosses that you'll need to fight along the way, so I won't do full breakdowns of those fights, but I will touch on them, and there are some that have some weaknesses and nuances which I'll cover as well, but mainly just trying to get you in the right direction if you're a little bit confused on what you need to do to progress to get to this last part of the game here. So hopefully this will help you out, and we'll get into that now. Alright, so after you hit that first Keeper Shrine at the beginning of Chapter 6, you're going to run into the first boss, which is the Supreme Inspector. Honestly, with a lot of these boss fights, I just kind of got through them with brute force using Immobilize and Cloud Step and charged heavy attacks. So like I said, I'm not going to do super detailed breakdowns of these fights, but I will say for this one, the Plantain Fan Vessel works really well, as you can see here. So that will stun him for a while, allowing you to get in a light attack combo or another attack. But really, again, a lot of these fights are just kind of using Cloud Step and Immobilize as they refreshed to get in charged heavy attacks, and then dodging and healing as much as I could to get through them. I will say, though, if you use that Plantain Fan at the very beginning, by the end of this fight, it had refreshed for me, so you might have an opportunity to use that twice as well. Then we're going to jump on our newly acquired Cloud Spell and head to the next boss, which is up and to the right here. So this is going to be the Gold Armored Rhino, and we'll also get another Keeper Shrine that we can grab. So basically just head straight to the right, and you'll find a clearing eventually. It's pretty obvious once you come across it, so it's this big battlefield-looking area. So the boss will be in that area, but first we want to grab this Keeper Shrine as well, so we can drop down and grab that. Going into this fight, I tried to get off a 3 charge attack, which I whiffed, but the first thing you'll notice with this boss is as you try and hit him, it does hardly any damage. And then if you noticed, I sort of banged my weapon on his horn there. So the key to this fight, as we'll see here in a second, is to get a 3 charged heavy attack on that horn, and that's going to snap it off, as you can see there. And then suddenly you'll see he takes a ton more damage. So that's kind of the key to this fight. And again, using Immobilize and Cloud Step just to get in charged heavy attacks. The horn will grow back, so you might have to do that cycle a couple of times, but other than that, it's a pretty straightforward fight. So as his horn grows back, you can use like Immobilize or Cloud Step to charge up another heavy attack, break off his horn, and then just do damage until the fight ends. Next, we've got a frog boss that we can do, which is just right down a ways from the Rhino fight. I think this is technically optional. You don't necessarily need to defeat this to progress, but you get some good rewards and whatnot, and it's just right down here. So if you make your way down to this arena here, you can defeat the frog and I think you get a Curious and some other good rewards as well. So if you come down here for the first time, you'll see the frog is up in the rocks there, but then there's also all these other minions that you have to deal with. This first fight, I killed them all and ended up dying, and then when you respawn, they don't reappear. So you can just kind of get through this first fight, then respawn, and then you don't have to deal with them again. So going back into this fight the second time, I pre-charge a 3 focus attack to get off that at the beginning. Don't go in there too close. As you can see, he jumps pretty far, and he will hit you if you charge in there too close. But then I go into Mobilize, get a light attack combo, go into Cloud Step to charge up another 3 focus attack. This is one of those fights where you kind of want to time your charged attacks because he's jumping all over the place and you might whiff, so be patient there. This should take care of most of his first phase, and then he'll go into sort of like a rock form where he's got rock skin. So you need to hit him with 3 focus charge attacks there, otherwise your weapon's going to bounce off. So again, more Cloud Step, more Immobilize, and that should get you through this portion. He'll eventually turn back to his regular form, as you can see here. And then from here, I use transformation just to do some initial damage. Eventually, he might transform back into stone. So then again, you just kind of have to use Immobilize, as you can see here, or Cloud Step, just to get in a couple more heavy charge attacks. But other than that, pretty straightforward. The most annoying thing about this fight is whiffing on those 3 focus charge attacks, he's moving around and whatnot. Now we're going to head over to the next main boss that we need to defeat, which is the Cloudtreading Deer. So for reference, down there, that's where the frog boss was. And then before we head over there, just calling out a couple other mini bosses that you can go fight if you want. You'll get some rewards. I think you get like some mine cores and golden threads or whatnot. But in this little open area is a poison chief. And then there's also another one on the other side here. If you can see that kind of dead tree sticking out there. There's also another one. And again, you'll get some rewards. It's optional. They're pretty easy fights. But there's another open arena right up here. You can see that there. So those 2 poison chiefs that you can grab if you want along the way. But what we want to look for are these red leaves. So that's where the Cloudtreading Deer is going to be. There's also a keeper shrine that we can grab too. So once you make it your way in here, this is the arena. And again, make sure you grab this keeper shrine before we go into the fight. I don't have too much to say about this fight. The main call out is that there are 2 phases with full health bars. So once you get through this first health bar, he goes into another form, and then you have to go through another health bar. So keep that in mind, that you're gonna have to save some mana and whatnot for that next part of the phase. Other than that, he does a lot of like frost-based damage. So if you are struggling, you know, maybe you could respec with chill resistance and things like that. Other than that, it kind of same story as you can see here. Charge. He doesn't have a whole lot of health, so you know, getting off charge heavy attacks will take care of him. You know, get 3 of the good ones of those in, and you should be in good shape. Again, Cloud Step, Immobilize. Those tornadoes are pretty dangerous, so you want to stay out of those. As you can see, those are kind of tearing me up a little bit. But other than that, just kind of grinding through this part of the fight. And then kind of more of the same. So again, making sure that you save some mana, Immobilize. You can see those charged heavy attacks do some pretty good damage, and then also staggers him for this next form that he goes into. So I immobilize him, go into Cloud Step, do the same thing, get off another 3 focus heavy charge attack, and that does a pretty good job taking care of him. So really just kind of, again, just kind of grinding through these fights with the same type of strategy, and then we'll get through this fight. Now we're going to head over to the Mantis-Catching swamp, which is basically on the opposite side of the map. So just head out the arena. We're going to be going this way for a while. So this will have another keeper shrine that we can get, and then we'll also take on the next boss, which is the Feng-Tail General. So we've basically been heading that direction for like 10-15 seconds. Eventually you'll see this island down here at the bottom. This is where the keeper shrine is going to be, so we can drop down here and grab that. So now taking a look at this next boss, which is the Feng-Tail General. This one's a little bit unique. You're not actually going to fight him to defeat him. It's basically a test of your overall stamina stat and health stat. So those need to be high enough in order to complete the test, essentially. So when I did this, my stats are a little bit different now, you can see on the right, but I had 845 total health and 380 stamina, and that was enough to complete it. So if you try it out and you fail the test, you can still do some things to increase these. So starting off, you can respec your character, put things into robust constitution to increase your health, rampant vigor for stamina. The health portion of it, I believe it's he does a burn attack, so increasing your bane mitigation for that burn effect. You could also respec with Shoe Dog in the Zodiac Village to increase your overall health, stamina, and burn resistance. So you can do those things. You can also use some equipment. So like for example, just take a look at what you've got. So the back scratcher increases stamina, as you can see. The relics, there's some relics you can use. So there our 5th relic here, there's Everlasting Vitality, which increases maximum health. So you don't necessarily need to grind levels or anything. Just take a look at all your equipments, your relics and stuff, and see if you can increase those stats as much as possible. All right, so now going through this process, the first thing you want to do is at this same keeper shrine, either start by resting or teleporting there. That's just going to reset his spawn point, so you know exactly where he's going to be. So once you get done resting at the keeper shrine or teleporting there, immediately hop on your cloud, and you can see we're heading back towards the back wall here, and that you can see him jumping down. So that's his initial spawn point. So head down over there, and then we're going to want to jump on his head. So once you get on top of him, just deactivate your cloud. And then there's going to be a prompt to hold on to his antennae. So depending on what system you're playing on and whatnot, that keybind may be a little bit different. But whatever that is, use that prompt. So this first test is going to be stamina. So you want to hold on to that same button to go through this. You'll notice your stamina bar is depleting, so he's going to go through a series of jumps. And the goal is to hang on for the whole thing and have stamina remaining until this all completes to pass this portion of the test. So that's test 1. Now we're going to do the health test, so you'll get another prompt. Same thing, go up and hold onto his antennae. So this is going to be the health test where he's going to burn your hands. And again, same idea, you just want to make sure that you have enough health to survive the whole duration of the test. So you can keep an eye on your health bar there, it'll start depleting. And if it fully runs out, you're going to fail the test and you need to get more health essentially, or more burn resistance. to complete the test. So here you can see I passed it, had enough health, and that's essentially this boss fight complete. After that, you'll want to head back to the Mantis-Catching Swamp Keeper Shrine. There you'll find Bajia, which will kick off the final main boss that you need to complete to progress the story. And this is with the Emerald-Armed Mantis. So this fight was a little bit tricky for me. It took me a couple tries, but again, no real strategy. Just kind of using Cloud Step and Immobilize again to get off charged heavy attacks. He does throw a lot of like crazy 8-hit combos and things like that, so just kind of spamming dodge, using a lot of health potions, and just kind of getting through that fight. Also transformation, throwing that in there as well, but again, just kind of grinding through that fight. And this will be the last boss that you need to complete. So now with all of that complete, you should have all 4 pieces of armor, which will allow you to progress to the next part of the game. However, quickly covering a couple other optional bosses that I haven't talked about yet. So right now we're back at the beginning area where the Supreme Inspector was. So from there, if you drop down straight from this cliff, there is the Jiao-Loong boss in this water, this kind of lake area here. So if you get down here and then get off of your cloud, that will prompt him to spawn out of the water. So you can defeat him. You get a Curious and things like that, kind of a quick fight if you want to do that. There's also these wood hippo guys. There's a whole bunch of them just kind of randomly around the map. You don't get a whole lot from them. However, the first one I got a mine core, so maybe worth at least killing one of them. And then up here on this cliff behind me is the Son of Stones. You can kill him. I killed him. I felt bad about it just because he seems like such a friendly guy. He just kind of sits there and claps at you. So just one of those things, but you get a mine core and some gold thread from him. So kill him if you want. I felt bad about it, but he seems like a friendly guy, but kind of a easy fight as well. So there's that guy. And then just kind of wrapping things up here. So there is one more boss that I didn't meet the requirements to unlock. It's the giant Shigandang. So he's right down. If you go into this tunnel here, that will lead to that arena. But you need to, again, you might have to look, if you want to do this, look up another tutorial because I haven't done it yet. But you need to collect all of these Skandas. I think there's one in each chapter. I think I only have one of them. So I think you have to go through and get all 4 of those or 5 of those or whatever, and that will unlock that boss. So he's down in this tunnel there if you've done that. So unfortunately, I haven't gotten to that point yet. And then wrapping things up, sort of the last part of this is to go into the waterfall area, which is on the other side here. And that will lead into the end game. So that's kind of where I'll leave you. After doing all this, that will unlock the ability to progress to this point. So you'll run into this area, it'll kick you off your cloud, and then you just kind of have to go through that waterfall area, and that will lead you to the end game. So I'll leave you with that. Hopefully this was all helpful. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you later. Bye.